Okay, continuing on with our moving up in the organization series, I want to talk to you just a little bit further about additional techniques for achieving personal and organizational fit. Well, the personal fit portion really drives this. What we're focusing on is how you interact with others, particularly those below you and laterally to you. Okay, because so much information focuses on how you present yourself to those above you. So with that in mind, here's the first tip. Always be a professional. Okay, now friendship has a line. All right, you can be somewhat friends with the individuals who work below you, but that can create a level of conflict of interest. You can look towards the military model, the separation between officer and enlisted. One is not more important than the other. It is simply an organizational structure where they understand that individuals that have to make difficult decisions and give orders to others need to be able to do so without being questioned or without letting personal feelings or things like that influence their decisions in that way. Well, the same thing goes in the organization. You cannot let biases towards a single individual because you're friends with that individual affect your decision making, especially when it affects how you treat others with whom you don't have that level of acquaintance or friendship. So that is an important line to draw. So while you have direct reports, be friendly and have, yes, a level of friendship, but there is a line there. You don't want to go too deep that someone believes that they can, again, influence your decision making in their favor above others. Okay, ask questions. Okay, this includes the people below you. People think that asking questions of those laterally to you or above you, and it's more of a learning and mentorship scenario, and they're reluctant to ask questions of those below you. Some of the worst leaders I have ever come across, though they be in higher important positions, were those who would not listen. They didn't ask questions of those below them. They didn't recognize the value of the information or knowledge of those below them that could build on their knowledge base and help them in their decision-making process. So recognize the value of others, the information that they have, ask questions of them, and listen to their points of view. That expanded knowledge, again, helps decision making. Be appreciative and give credit to others, okay? Particularly those below you. Believe it or not, every leadership or management position is successful or not based on the actions of others, based on those primarily below you in the organization. Poor leaders take credit for the actions and activity of others without adequately giving credit for the role that those individuals play, because again, they are the driving force. There are some indicators out there that try to measure company performance based on how many times the CEO mentions I or me in the company's annual letter. And there have been shown to be correlations there that firms perform more poorly when the executive or the leader is more egocentric or more self-focused. Positivity in the workforce. So positivity in many aspects is essential. Now, while it does pay, yes, to be a realist and look at things for what they are, still having a positive outlook of the potential and the situation tends to inspire others, right? So have a positive outlook. Do not say negative things about others. This puts in other people's mind that if you'll talk negatively about others, you'll talk negative about them. While others speak negatively, it's better to distance yourself from that. Okay, now it may be worth it to at least recognize that the complaints or the negativity expressed by others, that you recognize it, but don't join in, particularly if you're a leader above others. Okay, and do not cast blame. If things go wrong, people understand who is potentially at fault. It's not beneficial to anyone to express that. As long as people understand where things went wrong in the system and how you continue to move forward, not to let it be replicated or to remedy any negative results created in that situation, that's the best you can hope for. So casting blame has no positive effect. Work ethic. You have to be demonstrative of the work ethic you expect of others. Others will respond to that in a positive way, okay? That means tackle your duties, your responsibilities head on. There is no room for procrastination for leaders, okay? Tackle your to-dos ASAP and do not focus on the clock. If you do, others will as well. Focus on performance, focus on the task and objectives at hand and successful completion of those, not the clock, okay? And then etiquette and personal appearance. You be the representative that you want others to be. And looking up the organization, it tends to help you to mirror what you see upwards to a certain extent. So again, maintaining that level of professionalism that exists in the organization is important. And then your communication ability. Communicating effectively both up, down the chain and laterally is essential. Now, that may require different levels of communication technique. How you deliver the exact same information to different types of people is incredibly important. Very socially attuned individuals are able to recognize the need for different communication techniques among different groups or types of people. To effectively wield that is very empowering, and it's an important technique for, again, achieving fit and putting yourself in a good position to move up in the organization.